This is my ROV, my underwater drone project I'm working on. And so last video, I needed a way to connect a cable to the back of this. So I had to change this. It was different. I had a different design, so I redesigned it. And in my last video, you can see what I did. And so I had to have a way to hook a cable to the back of this, and I want it to be able to plug in and unplug. So so I went ahead and glued this ring on the back here, and I'm going to pull the tape off. I put some tape on here to hold it flush while the glue was drying. So this is all made out of PVC tubing, and I'm just going to pull this tape off and we'll see what it looks like under here. And now I should have enough room so I can drill holes and put screws in to hold the cable on, I'm hoping. And so tape came off pretty good. Need a razor knife here to cut the rest of this off. So there's the back end where I'm going to connect the cable. I have this 16-pin connector that I'm going to connect to the back here. So now I got a way I can screw this on the back because I didn't have a way before. So this looks good. I think this is going to work out okay. So you can see this is a waterproof connector, and it just unplugs. Like that. So you can see all the little connectors in there. So now I just got to drill some holes and screw this in here, and I'll have a way to connect the cable. So that part is figured out now, and that looks good. I think that's going to work fine. Let me look at it just to see. Yep, so I'll probably put it in this direction. So I'll have a little cover when I unplug it. This will screw on here to protect the connector. So that looks good. Okay, so now the other thing is these motors here. I got 4 waterproof motors with propellers on them, so they're like props, like boat props, and they're waterproof. So I'm going to have to extend these cables out. They're not long enough, these wires, because this is going to go in here, and then the wire's going to have to go through here, up through this tube, across this tube, and then out the back. And it has to be long enough. I got room. I can solder all these wires onto this connector. So my next dilemma is how to attach these motors. So I'm going to take this one here because it's close and the wires I can run through easily. And I need a way to connect these motors to the tubing. And it would be nice if I had some way I could just bolt them on or screw them on, and I could probably figure out how to do that. But I have another idea. And this might be an easier way to go. And I may just go ahead. So all the wires are going to come out the back here like this. This one's long enough. Let me see how this one looks. It looks to me like I'm going to have to, yeah, this is going to have to be extended. So I think this one's plenty long enough, so I won't have to extend this one. I can solder and work with this. But the rest of these wires, these other 3 motors here, are going to have to be extended. So I'll have to, what I'll do is I'll just solder a wire on here. I want to solder it because I don't want to just use a connector and extend these wires out. So I'll put some solder on here, and then I'm thinking, I don't know if I have any marine shrink tube that's small. I don't think I do. I could probably get some. I might have some. Marine shrink tube is waterproof because it has glue inside of it. But what I can do is I can take some some goop, some of this household goop, or it's the same thing as a product called Shoe Goo that used to be able to get. I don't know if you can still get Shoe Goo. It may be around, but there's other brands of the same stuff that's just a different name, but it's basically the same thing. So it's just this. It's kind of like model glue, and it's waterproof. It's really super strong. So I can just coat the solder joint with some of that goop and then put the shrink tube over it and then heat it up and shrink it down so it'll be totally waterproof. So that's what I'll do to extend these wires out. But my idea now to attach these motors is to use some butyl tape. Oh, by the way, Shoe Goo was a product for fixing tennis shoes that are kind of falling apart. You can kind of glue them back together. So that stuff's really strong. So I have some here. Like I said, it's not Shoe Goo, it's a different kind, but it'll work fine. So I have this butyl tape, and this stuff is just awesome. I don't know how you could live without it on a boat. It's originally made for putting in car windshields, and this is what seals them in. And so it's really strong, it's gooey, and it's kind of like modeling clay, so you can mold it any way you want. And it seals really good, though I'm not too concerned about sealing this watertight. These tubes up here are floats. These are watertight to a point. There's air down this tube, but because the way it sits in the water won't get up into this top part. So, but the bottom tubes here are going to be flooded, and I don't want them to be buoyant because it's going to make it tippy, and I want it to kind of be more like ballast. So these will be flooded with water. The motors are waterproof, so they can get wet. That's not a problem. So I'm not too concerned with it. These connectors here, especially on this part here, after I solder it, I'm going to have to waterproof this, and because it's going to get exposed to salt water. So there's a product called Bow Shield, which I may use. I used to have some, but I don't have it anymore. It's in a spray can, and it's what Boeing and NASA uses to protect circuit boards. And so they spray this stuff on to the circuit boards to make them waterproof. And that's what I'll use probably on this. So after I solder it, I'll spray some Bow Shield on here to protect it, and then I'll screw this all back in. These wires will have to be pushed back inside. So that's how that's going to work out. So now on the motor, on these motors, I'm thinking about using some of this butyl tape. So I'm just going to give a little test run here, because I don't want to get committed to something if it's not going to work out. So I'm going to take some of this gooey stuff, and it's gooey. It's real sticky. And like I said, this holds car windshields in, so it's really good stuff. And I've used it on all kinds of things. If you drill a hole through your boat and you want to make it watertight, drilling a hole for a bolt or something, this is what I like to use. I don't use silicone. Never, ever on a boat do I use silicone. I don't like it. It leaves a residue, so if you use silicone, and the silicone's not going to last forever, and you have to redo it again eventually. When you go to clean the old silicone off, it leaves a residue, and when you go to put new silicone on that area, it won't even stick to that area because of the residue from the old silicone. So this stuff, you can mold it any way you want. So I'm just going to kind of make a round piece of this here. And you can stretch it, and I'm just going to go around the motor and kind of push it in and see if that's, I'm sure it'll probably be strong enough, but we just got to see. And this is just a test. I'm not going to be committed to this yet, because I may come up with another way to, it'd be nice just to bolt these in, have some screws or bolts or something holding them in, but I just can't see how I'm going to do that with these, the way I got this set up. So I think this will work fine. So I'm just going to stretch this out and go around the motor, stretch it around. Okay, and it just pulls apart. So now, I think this is too thick. I think I need it thinner. So I'm going to pull it apart here and make it thinner. I didn't need as much as I pulled off. The nice thing about this stuff is you can just save it and reuse it. It doesn't go bad. And it doesn't dry out, so that's good. Push this down in here and see if I can get it to stick and stay in. I think this is going to work good. Looks like it's going to work good. It's actually not going to look too bad, I think. Once I get it in here. So I'm just going to stuff it in around the motor inside the tube. Yeah, so look at that. I can, and I don't even really have it in that good. I just kind of pulled it out. But I think if I get enough in here and push it down in here, this is going to work. So I just got to make sure I get enough down in there to hold it. Once I get it down in there and get enough of this butyl tape down in here, it should hold it fine. And like I said, this holds car windshields in, so the front and back windshields, and this is what they used to use. I don't know if they really still use this same stuff nowadays. It might be a little different, but car windows, you know, they don't, windshields, the front and back windshields, they don't generally fall out or leak, and they last in there forever. So this stuff should work fine. So I think that's what I'm going to do on the motors. So I think that's going to work. Like I said, it's pretty strong. And this is pretty heavy, so it just popped out, but I don't have it in very good. I just barely have it in here. Once I get enough goop down in there, enough of this butyl tape down in there, it'll be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is looking good. I have all the cables I need. I need 8 wires. Each motor here, there's 4 motors, has 2 wires. So I need 8 wires, and I have 2 Cat 6 cables. So they're Ethernet cables that are 150 feet long. And each one has 8 wires in it. So I have 8 wires for the motors, and then I'm going to have some extra wires for anything else I want to add on to this ROV. For one thing, I want a manipulator arm, you know, something that'll, when I go underwater, when this goes underwater, if I drop something overboard, I can go down with the manipulator arm in the front. It'll pick it up, so it can grasp things. I'm going to have 2 cameras on here. So I have an underwater fishing camera that I'm going to use to drive the ROV. And then I'm going to have my GoPro on here too, so I can get 4K video footage and get real high quality video. And it's got lights in the front. So this is what I'm going to do. I think this is going to work out okay. The other thing I got to do now, really the last part I need is a loom for the cable, because I have the 2 Ethernet cables and another cable which will be the video camera cable, and they're all 150 feet long, so this can go down 150 feet underwater, and has the lights in the front. The lights I might have to change. The depth on these lights don't go down to 150 feet. I don't think they'll survive that, but I can change these lights out with something that will work. These lights right now will work fine for going under to inspect the bottom of my boat, which is mainly why I'm building this. So I can go and look at the bottom of my boat without going in the water. And then I want to try to come up with a way so I can use this to literally clean the bottom of my boat, scrape it. So I got some ideas on that. And but I need a loom, and a loom being, it's kind of like, it'll be like a flexible tube that the wires are going to go through. So I need one that's waterproof, pretty much, watertight. I'll have to seal both ends, but I have to run the wires through this loom. So it's kind of be like, a vacuum cleaner hose type of material, but small diameter, maybe 1/4 inch, if I can get the cables to fit in there. And that's going to be a challenge to run those cables through there. I'll have to use a string first through the loom, and then tie the cables on and pull the cables through. And so how I'm planning on getting the string in a 150-foot long piece of tubing, small tubing, is I'll do like electricians do when they're running cable through conduit. They run a string first, or a cord, and what you do is you take, I could just take a little piece of paper towel or something and tie it on the end of the string, and I'm just going to use the light small string because the cables are real small and the loom is real small, and then use a vacuum cleaner to suck that piece of paper towel through that's tied onto the string. That'll suck the string through the tube, and then I can tie the cables on and then pull the cables through the tube to get them inside. So that's the plan there. And so little by little, I'm slowly getting this together. So now I got to find and buy the loom. And I went to the hardware store, and they got them all caged and locked up in cabinets. And I was looking at them, and the ones that they had were not small enough. They were too big, and they're way too stiff and heavy. But there's looms that are really super lightweight and real flexible, and that's what I want. And then I also want to get yellow color, because I'm going to have 150 feet of cable, and the cable itself will be floating, and I want it to be visible in the water, because I don't want boats. I want other boats to see it. For the most part, when I'm in the marina here, I'll keep all the cable in my slip, so it won't be out anywhere where a boat can get to it. But I still want it to be visible, so you can see it. Looms usually are black, and you put it in the water, you won't be able to see it. So I want yellow, bright yellow. And so that's where I'm at now. So now I just got to find the loom, and I think I have everything else. I have my control box for controlling this pretty much set up. I still have some work to do to that. I got to put in the connectors and wire that in. So basically it's just down now to getting the motors in and wiring everything together. And hopefully by then, once I get all that done, I'll be able to get this in the water and test it and see if it's going to work or not. It's been a lot of work putting this together. When I first started on it, getting this all together went really fast, but it's just the little details that take time, and trying to figure stuff out. It was like this before was an elbow that I had on here, and there was no way I could connect the connector to it, so I had to just redo it. And that's my last video, so if you watch that, you can see what I'm talking about there. So if this video was helpful or entertaining, please like and subscribe.